this video is going to help you understand how to unscramble the spellings of chords that are not in the correct order to turn them into something called a root position spelling. So on your screen you see that we have the 7 possible correct spellings for all the triads. Now, I know that we can add sharps and flats to these letters, but at their heart, they are just these 7 organizations of the letters of the alphabet. So up above this, let's just write the word root position, okay? So whenever we refer to a triad, we always want to use one of these spellings. Any other grouping of the notes of a single triad is incorrect and has to be converted back to the ones that you're seeing right now. So for example, if I see GCE, okay, so that is not something that you see over here in this list, because if it starts with G, then the other letters have to be B and D. So that means this one's out of order. So what we have to do is we have to find a combination from the left column that has exactly the same letter names as the one I'm pointing to. So you see that as we come over here, this is the correct name of it. So even if it presents itself on the staff in this order, we're going to always call it CEG. Okay, so the order here that we see on the staff doesn't really matter. This is its proper name, and when you are asked to provide a root position spelling, you cannot do this, you have to do this. So let me give you another one. Let me make a word, okay? Beg, okay. Now, if it starts on B, it has to be BDF. So this is not the root of the chord, it's not its name. So what we have to do is hunt through the list and find the correct one. Well, here it is. This has got E, G, and B in it. So we're not going to refer to it as beg. We're going to put it in this order, E, G, B, and say this is the correct spelling. So this is going to be something you have to do on your homework. You will be looking at reorganized chords on the staff, and they will have the wrong order. So then when you spell them, they have to always come back to one of these 7. So let's try it on a staff right now. I'm going to put some staff paper here, and let me write a chord. So I'll use treble clef, and I'm actually just going to still do no accidentals. So I've written something. Now, you should be able to tell at a glance that these are not in the right order, because they're not all space notes, and they're not all line notes. So let's do this first. We're going to name the letters. So the bottom one is A, the middle one is C, and the top line of the treble clef is always F. Now you see they're out of order, because if you, and we always work from bottom to top because the bottom note is the name of the chord. If you look at A, let me find my list again here, sorry, there we go. Okay. So if A is the bottom note, well, it should be C and E, but it's not. So now you have to take this group, and you have to find which one of these proper names it is. And, in fact, it should be spelled F-A-C. So if I ask you to write, let's just say this is a blank space on your homework, and you're supposed to write the root position spelling, the correct answer is F-A-C. Now I'm going to do the next one with accidentals. Okay, so we'll stay in treble clef, and this time I'm going to have B flat, D, and G. Okay, so let's write those down. B flat, D, G. Now, for the purposes of putting them in the right order, it doesn't matter a bit that it's B flat. So what we're really looking for over here is the correct order for these 3 letters of the alphabet. Okay, so we have a B flat, a D, and a G. Well, if we start on B, we get BDF, so that's not it. If we start on D, we get DFA, that's definitely not it. So it must be G, B, D. So now, let's say this is homework, and you have a blank space above the staff, and you are to give it a root position spelling. So we've figured out that the combination that works is GBD, but here's the other expectation that I have, and the directions in the homework will tell you this. If there is an accidental with any of the letters of the triad, you have to include it in your spelling to be correct. So I want you to understand that when you do this, the root position spellings, these are worth 3 points because there's 3 answers here. And if you omit the B, you lose a point. Let's do one more. So I'm going to put one that has lots of accidentals on the staff, okay? I'm going to have G sharp at the bottom. I'm going to have C sharp in the middle. And I'm going to have E sharp on top. So I've actually just written the names beside the notes, and if you find that that's helpful, please do it. Doesn't matter to me. I would rather see you get the right answers and have some extra information written on the staff. Now we need to find a triad name that has C, G, and E in it. Well, as we look over here at our list, we discover that it's this. So this is the order that we want to write them in, C, E, G. Now I spread those out a little bit because the correct answer is not this. This is the correct order, but it's not the correct answer because we have not included the accidentals in our spelling. So we have to bring all those sharps up and include them in the spelling. If you write C, E, G, you don't get any points because that's not the answer. It's C sharp, E sharp, G sharp, and that is what we call the root position spelling of a triad.